Glocks are unsafe. It's true. It's just been proven. There's no way you can deny it now. A police chief just shot himself with a Glock, and cops are the most well-trained with guns. We all know that. There's no way they could ever make a mistake with a gun, even a Glock 40. There's no way they could make a mistake with a gun, and they did with a Glock. That shows that they're unsafe. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you really must not have been paying attention to any of the gun news recently. But basically what happened is the chief of police was in a gun store. I don't know where, and honestly, it doesn't matter, so who cares? A chief of police of some city was in a gun store, and he, upon reholstering his Glock 23, caught the drawstring of his jacket in the gun and made it go off, and he ripped around through his leg. And his training took in, and he called his parents. No, he's not Tex Grebner. Why would I say something like that? No, so he ripped around through his leg because he was being stupid. This proves that Glocks are unsafe. Oh, no way, no, it doesn't, because, again, I'm not being retarded. There's a couple of things that need to get dispelled here. Two big myths that need to get dispelled. One, cops equal good gun handlers. Full of it. Not true in the least. Everybody's seen that famous video where you got this cop in the front of the room. He's got like a reggae-style haircut, and he's got a Glock 40, which it's either a 22 or a 23. It could have even been a 27. I think it was either a 22 or 23, though. And he's holding it in front of a class safety demonstration. I am the only one in this room qualified enough, professional enough to hold this Glock 40. Apparently he's not professional enough to know actually the model number. He just knows it is a Glock 40. You know, what people don't know what they're talking about call them. And he shoots himself in the foot. And if you've actually seen the extended version of that video, I think he tries to pick up another gun, and everybody in the class is like, no, 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 please don't, no, you've done enough already. So this idea that cops are somehow more proficient than everybody else with guns is a big fallacy. And the left often perpetrates this when they say, well, you know, I think cops and military should have guns because they get training. They get so much less training than your average concealed carry in a year that it's just the most asinine thing you could ever possibly say. Number two, and this is a very important one, Glocks are unsafe because they don't have safeties. Myself, I don't like safeties on guns. If you feel more comfortable with a safety on your gun, that's fine, but you are never going to convince me that they are more safe, because the only safety on a gun right here, for a gun, is right here. No matter what way you put it. If you make a Glock discharge with all the internal safeties that they have, the firing pin safety and the drop safety and stuff like that, if you make one discharge, the problem is right in between right here, because you're doing something wrong. It just doesn't just happen. You're doing something wrong. You might be, I don't know, reholstering and not paying attention to if you have any drawstrings on your clothing, not paying attention to reholster and stuff like that. But the problem is not with the Glocks. The problem is always with the person. And you'll get it from the 1911 fans, and you'll get it from the Springfield XD fans who say this. And this, for the life of me, I cannot understand. They'll say, well, this wouldn't have happened with a 1911 or a Springfield because it's got the grip safety. Let me show you why I don't understand that. Let me move the chair out of the way here. Okay, let's see. We move the camera down just a touch. Okay. Here we are. Here is a Glock 26. Not loaded. It doesn't even have a magazine in it. So here's a Glock 26, okay? Concealed carry. This is what I carry for concealed carry. Okay, now the Springfields and the 1911s have a grip safety here. The gun won't fire unless you're pressing down the grip safety. So that makes them more safer, especially when holstering, right? This is where I don't understand that. That seems like a lot more talk than actual fact, okay? If I'm going to holster this gun, this is how I holster it. Lift up the shirt, make sure there's nothing there, put the gun in the holster. Now, if you'll notice, when I did that, how am I holding the gun? With my hand on the grip. So if I go to holster it, and I'm not paying attention, and say, oh, where is it? I've got it back here. Say there's, I don't know, a drawstring on there, I'm going to be holding the grip anyway, and press it right in there, and the exact same thing is going to happen. I for the life of me, cannot understand that argument. I've never unholstered a gun and not had a grip on the grip safety. What are you doing it like this? Are you grabbing it like this in an unsafe manner anyway? It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Yeah, get the Springfield XD because you get the grip safety, and then with the grip safety, when you go to holster, you're going to be grabbing it like this. It's going to go off anyway. Boom! I do not understand that argument for the life of me. And I've seen it a lot. I mean, if somebody can explain that to me, there's something that I'm missing here, especially with the XDs. Because, I mean, for the 1911s, they might say, oh, the manual safety and stuff like that. Well, that's different manual entirely. But I've seen them talk about the Springfield XD. It's got the grip safety. Well, if you're holstering properly, you're going to have a good grip anyway. You're going to be disengaging that. The problem isn't with the guns, it's with the shooters. And it's with the mindset that cops have some sort of magical firearms ability. Like, these are such big, complex systems here. I don't know. Guns? How do they work? What's the part numbers in Glocks? How many parts are in Glocks? Like 20, 30 or something like that. I mean, I would have my armor certificate if... Oh, here's a little side note for you. I know the ins and outs of Glocks, left, right, and all that stuff. I'd love to get my armor certificate, but in New York, it's one of those states where you can pretty much only get one if you're an LEO. Other states, they give them out left and right. You can go, they'll have a... You can have a day, and then maybe they'll have like a meeting afterwards. You know, you get your certificate, even if it doesn't get you anything. It's a nice little thing to have, sign put on your wall, Glock armor and stuff like that, you know, just to say that you've done it, because, you know, it's something that I really understand well, the Glock platform and stuff like that. Love to get the certificate, but in New York, us serfs can't be doing things like that. I don't even know what direction the bullets come out on this thing. We're so stupid here in New York. But again, so basically to sum it up, LEOs, cops, whatever you want to call them, in military aren't some amazing firearm experts. And out of LEOs and military, I'd probably go with military a bit more, because they actually get far more training with any sort of firearms than the cops, even though that's... Oh, only cops have guns, addictor! Oh, only the ones that get training cops should have guns. Oh, I'm so stupid. I eat mashed potatoes with my nose. And number two, it's never, no matter how you try to paint the picture, it's never ever the gun, it's only ever the user. I've heard everything about the Glocks. I've heard, well, you know, I wouldn't want a Glock because, you know, if I'm you know, kind of cloudy-eyed in the middle of the night, hear a bang in the middle of the night, and I reach for my dresser drawer, I don't want my finger going in the trigger guard and ripping around through the wall. You know why that doesn't matter? Because who's to say, you know, when you're violating that rule anyway, treat every firearm like it's loaded. Who's to say, I don't know, you didn't put the safety on your whatever has a safety, your Beretta M9 or something like that. Who's to say you just didn't put the safety on? Are you really going to trust the safety? If you trust the safety of your firearm as the main safety and not your finger, you are doing something wrong. One of the main rules of firearm safety. So again, you're never ever going to convince me that a Glock is any less or more safe than any other sort of gun. Even when the people say, oh, the 40s have unsupported chambers, so they're dangerous. They might have unsupported chambers, and it used to be a lot worse. But again, that's not even really that bad. And you know, I shoot 10mm, which is the fucking 40 on steroids. Even though the 10mm got a thicker weapon case, but that's for another day. Cops aren't great. Glocks aren't bad. Leave with that. All right, that's it, guys. Take it easy.